So let's continue our tour or review of the JavaScript language by taking a look at strings now. We'll go back to the Node REPL here, and we'll note that strings in JavaScript are just a sequence of Unicode characters. A lot of the JavaScript language engines internally represent them as UCS2, which is a 16-bit character format, and this is good enough to represent pretty much any of the characters we'll see in modern web applications. Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Arabic, Tibetan, Armenian, they'll all work perfectly fine in JavaScript. I think theoretically there are some obscure character sets that can't be represented in the 16-bit code page. And I think some language engines do support them, some don't, and that's sort of something that they're working on resolving. But for our purposes, we'll be able to do whatever we want with the Unicode strings. The things we'll be interfacing with are UTF-8 strings from sort of files, web input, and everything, and the Node.js and Chrome do all the conversions. Chrome's V8 do all the conversions for us, so we really just won't have to worry about it at all. There is no character data type in JavaScript. If you want to have a character, you just create a string of length 1 and it'll work just as you'd expect it to do. Strings in JavaScript can be wrapped in double quotes. They can be wrapped in single quotes, and they are absolutely equivalent. The only difference is if you're using a single quote, quoted string, and you want to include a single quote character in it, you need to escape it with a backslash. And if you are using a double quoted string, you have to escape the double quoted strings like that. So that's really the only difference between single and double quotes. And you'll see actually here the Node REPL just likes to print everything with single quotes. Okay. I can declare variables of type string like that, and I can actually get the length of a string by just asking for the length property, and you'll see the length of that is 8. I can similarly just actually use the length property right there on a string literal, and I'll get the value back. And you will see, however, if I declare a value to be null or undefined, and I ask for the length of that, the JavaScript language will get quite irate and unhappy with me. So I can add strings together by using the plus operator. So I can say cats say, oopsie, let's do that correctly, meow like that, and you'll get the resulting string. I can actually also use the plus operator to convert other things to strings. So if I have var distance equals 25, the dog has run distance kilometers like that, you'll see it actually does the conversion for us and makes everything, it's just intuitive and works as you'd expect. I can do this too. I can say 5 is Mark's favorite number, and that'll work fine too. There is one sort of slight oddity here, and that is if I do 5 plus 3 is Mark's favorite number. You might expect to see 53, but in fact you'll get 8. And that's because as the JavaScript interpreter is going along, it says, okay, 5 is an integer, 3 is an integer. I can add those up. That gives me 8. Oh, now I have to add them to a string, so I need to convert this 8 to a string like that. If I really wanted to say 53 is Mark's favorite number, I could just prefix it all with a string like that. Or I could actually just use a function like a printf or something, to do the formatting for it like that. But that's basically the concatenation operator. Don't worry about the performance of the concatenation operator. A lot of the JavaScript language engines, they're all competing for performance right now. And so the great news for us as users is they're all getting incredibly fast. And this sort of string concatenation is something they have all optimized very, very heavily. And the performance of it is absolutely fantastic now. So let's look at some functions on the string class now. One of the first ones we'll take a look at here is the index of. Let's say wishy, washy, wonky. And I want to find the index of the word wash. And you'll see here that it is a character index 6. That's great. If I say walla, walla, bing, bang, or something, dot index of orange, you'll see it returns -1 because that does not exist. To extract a string from another string, I can use the substr or the slice functions. And the only difference between these two is sort of the parameters. So if I say, no, they're saying boolearns.subster, I want to get, starting at index 19, I want to get 3 characters. So subster takes the starting index and a length, and you'll see that returns the word boo, whereas slice takes a starting index and an ending index, which is also, a difference of 3, and that returns the same word there. So that's how you extract things from other strings. Finally, we'll talk quickly about the split function, which is super cool. If I have A, B, C, D, E, F, and I want to split that up into an array, I can say let's split that up on commas, and I get an array with the 6 things in it. Actually, let's talk about one more function quickly, and that is the trim function, which is theoretically non-standard, but increasing numbers of browsers, and in particular Chrome V8 and Node.js support it, and that's this trim function. If I have a string with lots of space at the beginning and end, trim gets rid of all of that and returns just the sort of the core string as you might expect. So that's a basic introduction to strings. There's no real surprises there, I hope. Let's take a quick look at regular expressions right now. Regular expressions in JavaScript. I won't go into the regular expression syntax and sort of the theory of regular expressions. This is something you can sort of definitely look up on the internet on your own time. But to enter regular expressions in JavaScript, you can actually just use what's called literal notation here. And that is you just enter you wrap a regular expression in an opening slash and a closing slash like that, and you'll see there that I get a regular expression. I can also use a object constructor with a string in it if I want, so I can say AA like that, and you'll see also it detects that as a regular expression and prints it out that way. What this is this is a regular expression that matches 2 or more uppercase or lowercase a's. So regular expressions are pretty powerful, pretty useful. One of the things I can do is I can search for regular expressions. So for example, if I have the string AAOO and I want to search for, is there a sequence of 2 or more A's in it, I can literally just do that. And you'll see at index 0, if I wanted to search for 2 or more O's, you'll see there it's at index 2. And if I have the word boo and I wanted to search for 2 or more A's, you'd see -1, it's not there. I can also use the replace function, and the replace function lets me replace a matched regular expression with something else. So if I have AAOO and I want to replace 2 or more A's with the letter B, you'll see I get the word boo. And again, I can use the literal notation here, or I can use the regular expression constructor if I want to that way. And so those are the sort of key things we'll do with regular expressions in JavaScript. Again, go ahead and look at the documentation for sort of other interesting functions and other things you can do with strings and regular expressions, but that should get us going. And with that, we will stop now and then come back and take a look at objects.